join me, Brook. This is fighter training, fighter maintenance training. We're at Street Sports Chatsworth with black belt and gold medal winner of the Pan Am Games, Scott Singer and Nick. Today we're going to take it to part two. First, we've lubricated all of the joints in our body, and now we're going to stretch out the muscles. Let's begin with the neck. You're going to let your chin fall directly toward the chest. You're going to take your hands and they're going to come over your head and kind of like suction cup your head, just using the gravity. You're not really forcing your head downward, but you're just letting gravity work, elbows releasing toward the floor, heart's lifting, gravity, arms, elbows working. You should feel the stretch at the bottom of your neck and possibly in your middle back. Okay, release. You're going to drop your head over toward the right side. Take your right hand, hook a bone right behind your ear. It's a bone off of your skull called the mastoid process. And just again, let the weight of your arms take your head over to the right. It's a good idea not to crank it or to force it. You can save that for the training session later on. You're going to release your fingertip grip, spiral your head so that your nose is almost directly in your armpit, and then suction cup your head with your hands. You can take your left hand, wrap it around your back, and put it in your right front pocket if you can get there. And this just changes the angle of the stretch. Okay, release that. You're going to gently tilt your head over toward the left. I like taking the middle finger, finding the mastoid process, using just the weight of my arm on my head, moving me into the stretch. Spine straight, hard up. Right hand spirals into the front left pocket. And just breathe. A normal good amount of time, 5 breaths, maybe 8 breaths, maybe 12, 15, 20 breaths. We're going to release the grip, spiral, nose to pin stretch. Okay, release that. The last one you're going to do for the neck, you're going to bring your chin forward in that funky chicken, about halfway funky chicken forward. Chin's going to come up, and then you're going to take your thumb, stick it right at they call it the round eye of your chin, and just press your chin back. Try not to crunch it, you really just want to get a nice stretch in the front muscles of your neck. If you want, you can just do a basic lubrication sequence just to reset the neck with some funky chickens. The yes move, looking over toward the right first, and then gazing over toward the left. And I feel fantastic. How do you guys feel? Great, feel great. We do the chin toward chest, chin toward the sky move a couple times. Tilting your head to the side. Okay, great. Come onto your hands and knees. Since you use your hands a lot in Jiu-jitsu, you've got to stretch out the fingertips and the wrists. Place your hands, palms up, and just pressurize your arms down so you can get a stretch on the back side of your forearm. Here's another variation. Hands come together at heart center. Elbows pressed down. And then here's a great one for the fingers and the forearm. Your fingertips, you're going to just rotate your arms. Your fingertips are going to be pointing toward the knee. And then just lean back. Sometimes it's nice to just have a little bend in the elbows. And this can be really intense, so enter slowly. shake out. Now we're gonna do a little sequence that's gonna be perfect for opening up the hips and the shoulders at the same time. Come into a squatting position. Couple breaths here. Hands come down to the ground. Extend your left leg back and come on up. We'll first begin with our hands at our heart center and just engage forward. Some good tips: get your knee and ankle in one straight line. Take a look at your back foot and make sure it's not hooking in or hooking out. Perfect. From here, you're going to bring your left arm up, drop it behind your back, and now you've got your tricep lat stretch with your spine and extension, with your left hip in extension. This is a home run. If I could pick only one stretch to do, this might be one of them. Just be easy. You don't have to submit yourself in any of these stretches. In fact, I would vote for don't submit yourself. Don't do self-jiu-jitsu. That'll come later. Okay, release. You're going to come back into the squatting position. This is great for the hygiene of your hip joints. Hands flat. Right leg shoots back. Hands at the heart center. Engage it forward, crank it up a little bit, hands up, right hand behind the neck, left hand grabbing the elbow, and enjoying. So you're going to be getting the front side here, opening up the entire front part of your chest, the lower back, and of course getting the meat, lats, triceps. Back into our squatting position. Hands down, left foot back. The next one, we're going to bring our left arm out to the side, keeping the arm straight, taking it as far across the chest as possible. Other hand's going to come underneath. You've got a couple variations. You can go with the hand behind your neck. You can also bring your hands together like this. Another option is just like that. So this option, that option. Take your pick. Or maybe do all of them. So just engage forward, move your pubic bone forward, and at the same time just put a little bit of a scoop, your tailbone scooping forward, like you're trying to put your tailbone in your belly button, but with a soft intensity. All right, release, hands down, squat, other leg back, line it up, engage forward, arm drags across the chest, other hand comes in. Maybe you start here for a few breaths, maybe you start there for a few breaths, maybe in transition to this full eagle version with low lunging, knee supported position. Okay, 10 breaths, release. You're back in the squat position. Hands down, leg back. You're going to interlace your hands behind your back, hard up, engage forward, and just move your fist or your hands away from your lower back. Get a nice chest expansion going. Opens up your biceps, opens up your chest. Fantastic. Release, hands down, into squat. Moving the other leg back. Reversing the grip of your hands behind your back. Heart pops up, engage forward, and then just increase or decrease intensity so that you're not self-submitting yourself. Great. Come to swap position, and we'll grab our belts. I'm going to grab my ancient stick. Place it in front of you. We're going to come back down into our squat for the last shoulder move. Hands down, left leg back. Take a belt or a broomstick. You're going to place the left hand behind your back. Grab onto a stick or a belt with your right hand, your free hand. You're going to just lift it up without dislocating your left shoulder. Engage forward while you're lifting up. And if possible, you want to grab onto both hands if you have that capability. Go for it. Okay, release. Hands down. Squat position. Right leg goes back. Repeat on other side. Just would like to preface that we're moving at a pretty quick speed. You can do the stretches at this rate. Might be better in the beginning to have a slower cadence, where you can just let each pose marinate. Okay, great. We're going to release this. Come into a simple cross-legged position with your right leg in front. If you have any knee trouble or low back trouble, please modify this or consult your instructor. The way I like to get into this posture, I like to get the ankles right underneath the knees. This is called simple cross-legged pose. I like to make it as hard as humanly possible. Feet flex toward each other, spine lifts up, and if you need to, you can always put a bolster underneath your hips to get some extra height, which I normally like to do. Perfect. Lift up, and then hinging from the hips, we'll go forward. This is a great one to hang out in, to open up the low back and to open up the hips. Normally I would hang out here for, let's say, about 30 to 60 to 90 seconds, but we're going to switch. So switch to the other side. The setup is really important. Ankles underneath the knees, feet flexing toward each other, heart lifts up, and then engage forward. "30 seconds later, you're going to come up into, we'll call this maybe a butterfly pose or a bound ankle pose, lifting the heart up. And it's also nice to bring your elbows right into the knees and press your elbows into the knees. It's going to be a nice isometric contraction to relax your inner groin muscles. We'll release that. You can hold that one for about 5, 8, 10 breaths. You're going to bring your left foot, the heel, straight into the pubic bone so that you're at a heel-to-heel alignment. Inhale up, exhale, fold forward, and again, 30, 60, 90 seconds. Rise up. Now for this move, you're going to move your left knee so that the left knee and the hip are in the same line. You're going to take your right foot, and for some people, this is going to feel fine, but for other people, for most jiu-jitsu practitioners, you've got tight hips, so you're going to just take your knee and your foot over completely. Foot's going to go flat, and with your left hand, you're going to come in, hook the right knee in. You can use your right hand if you want to lift your spine up, and then hug it. So this is called the I love my hips pose, or the Sanskrit name Ardha Matsyendrasana with the Brook tight hips variation. Okay, to get out of there, you can release it either into this position and go through a nice opener there, or if that's too challenging for you, go back into this half angle pose for a moment. And then we'll bring our right leg straight out to the side. You might want to start off with a bent knee, index and middle finger hooking the big toe, sealing it with the thumb. Straightening out the right leg if possible. Left hand on the heart lifts up. And then just gaze at your thumb. Breathe. So we're going to get our first hamstring opener. You're also going to get some of your adductors happening, getting those guys stretched out as well. And I love this, getting this lateral stretch of the spine while you're lifting your inner sternum up toward the sky, full spine stretch. Okay, so we're going to release that. We're going to pivot onto our left hand, bend the right knee. Your right leg is going to be at a 90-degree angle. Your right foot's going to be at a 90-degree angle. Your spine lifts up. Your hands will kind of like straddle your knee, or maybe it'll be completely on the other side. And I just like to do, you'll feel like there's movement in the hip joint. Just kind of rocking, gliding this ball and socket joint, this hip joint. How many times do you ever find yourself in a position like this in Jiu-jitsu? Probably all the time. Unless you're the one on top. Okay. We're going to straighten this leg, kind of like a Bruce Lee karate kick, or a Jeet Kune Do kick to be more precise. Hook the big toe, hands at the heart, arm out at the side. And that's a little sequence. Let's repeat that on the other side. To get there, we'll go into this half pose, engaging forward. Coming up, we'll go into the butterfly pose. Elbows, knees pressing. Get a good contraction. It's going to open the hips up and make all the other postures that we're about to do much easier. Okay, release. Right heel into the pubic bone. We're onto the left side. Forward bend. Maybe some of the time elongate. Fold forward, maybe some of the time just kind of like melt. Some of the time using really precise form, and then some of the time maybe you just want to plop. Kind of the difference between being in a pose and just plopping. So you can play along that intensity spectrum. So we'll do the crossover move. Here's one variation where you do a knee over. If you have any knee stuff going on, whether it's the lateral, the outside part of the knee, even if you have something on the inside part of the knee, this may not feel right. If it doesn't feel right, get out of there, and then go straight into the I love my hips pose. One of the important things for this pose for good spine health, suck your spine up and then hug it, and then you can seal it. You should feel it like there. Big time. Okay, 30 seconds. To get out of there, you can go back into this posture, or if that's too intense, you just throw the left leg out in front, line up the heels, lift it up, engage forward. 30 seconds, come on up, shoot the left leg out, go for the big toe grab, hands at the heart. It will remind you to lift your heart up, arms out at the side. Another little variation to this, take your right hand, put it on the back of your head, press your head back into your hand, and lean a little deeper into the left side. You feel a deeper stretch in the lower back and the side part of your ribs. So that's a nice little addition to that. Okay, release, slide toward the right, bend the left knee. This is the move where that hip. Just easy to access it, doing that internal rotation. external, internal, external, internal, external. In our Western, highly technologically advanced civilization, we do so much sitting, and the hip joints dry out. It affects the sacroiliac, affects the low back, it affects the energy of your lower spine. It deals with reproduction, digestion, elimination, and locomotion. So we've got to free this area up, not just for your jiu-jitsu practice, but for your life practice. Okay, release. We'll go back to this side one last time. Hard up, out to the side. Variation. Head press, heart lift, side bend. Release. Get that half butterfly pose orientation. Inhaling, exhaling. Great. Into the butterfly pose with the knee elbow pressurizing. And then we'll finish right where we started this hip opener sequence. Cross your right leg in front, ankles underneath the knees, lift your heart up, spine up, fold forward. Incredible, huh? Okay. 30 seconds later, rise up. Other side. Here we're going to go straight into like a straddle-like pose. You're going to keep your ankles bent at a 90-degree angle. Get your ankles and your knees in the same line. You can get your hands underneath your shoulders. You can drop your elbows so they're also underneath your shoulders, so you have a couple different variations. Just breathe. This is a deep one, so be mindful not to push it. 30 seconds later, come on up, and slide your knees together, and we're going to take our right foot, wrap it around, try to get it kind of tight so both knees are touching, the feet are spread away from one another. I love sitting on a bolster like Scotty is doing. Lift up. You can just fold forwards. You're not going to have to fold forward too many degrees before you start feeling this deeply in the hips. Another variation is to take the top knee toward the chest, sit up, kind of like that hip variation that I love my hip stretch variation. Alright, so to get out of there, untangle your legs, just reset it in this saddle-like pose. Frog pose would be a better name choice for this pose. Bring your knees together, left knee comes over. Take your time. If you feel pain, sharp pain in your knee, feel something that like is going to tear, probably will. So modify it to fit your body, to fit your architecture, to fit your whole fill in the blank injuries, your high school football injuries, your World's Championship in 1982 gold medal match. Variation with the knee coming toward the chest. Okay, release. We're going to come straight back into the frog pose. And you can pick each one of these little modules and repeat them in smaller clusters 2 or 3 times. and then move forward. Okay, bring your knees together. Separate them now. Hands underneath the shoulders. You're going to round your back. Arch your back. So stick your butt up toward the sky. Elbow curls. Heart drops. Heart rounds. You're just going to do some, we call these cat cows. Move your hands forward about 6 to 8 inches. And then you're going to round your back and then move into an arch, cobra pose. From here, you're going to come down and then just lightly, you're just going to press up, down, light press up, straightening your legs, having your toes, the energy of your toes trying to touch the back wall. Great. Sit back onto your heels. Left hand on the bottom, right hand on the top. 3 deep breaths. Stand up. Shake it out. All right. Bring your feet together, hands at the heart. As the great Mills Lanes once said, let's get it on. Thanks for tuning in.
Once upon a time, I was of the mind